Warning, you are about to enter the BGP suite. No thongs, no boy shorts, no thigh highs, no commandos are permissible. BGP, big girl panties only. So pull up to woman up. And no, please don't leave with your panties in a bunch.
3, 2, 1. I absolutely, positively still love to see Black people in Black love. And no one can ever call me shallow, snobby, conceited, stuck up, or picky again. So in the spirit of undoing what was done in public, I have the following PSA. Black men, I have been the Black woman that far too many Black men say do not exist. I have gone outside of my preference zone, check. I have courted a brother that I was not physically, visually, aesthetically, height requirement attracted to initially, and settled on other attributes besides the physical that I was willing to work with. Check. Let his personality outshine what I wasn't attracted to originally and actually became genuinely attracted to him. Check. Engaged in a long distance, statistically extremely difficult to maintain courtship. Check. Publicized it against my better judgment. Check. Fasted with him, resulting in his shedding 20 pounds of toxins. Check. Studied with him. Check. Chose a meaningful name for him. Check. Was always accessible. Check. Was my feminine self with him at all times. Check. Nurtured him. Check. Did prosperity rituals with this man. Check. Was loyal to him. Check. Respected him. Check. Trusted him. Check. Opened my heart to him, being completely naked and vulnerable despite past bullshit with other men. Check. Loved him. Check. Had a private waist bead commitment ceremony with him. Aligned my life with this man. Check. Encouraged him at all times. Check. Heard his vision. Check. Saw his vision. Check. Took on his vision as my own. Check. Spoke life into him. Check. Breathed life into his visions. Check. Birthed his vision. Check. Constantly told him and showed him I believed in him. Check. Influenced him, stayed in his ear to make his vision an actual LLC until he did so. Check. Influenced him to expand his products and services. Check. Sketched his business logo and shopped it around to be digitized. Check. Taught him the importance of trademarks, influencing him to trademark his logo until he completed the task. Check. Built his website beautifully. Check. Made his business cards. Check. Promoted his business. Check. Overlooked shortcomings, potential deal breakers, turnoffs that surfaced over time to see through to the man that he had the potential to become. Check. And ultimately had a misunderstanding, miscommunication, blowout, with him over something very real to my eyes, something that reasonably appeared to be a violation of trust, that made all the above irrelevant when weighing my value against the disagreement and resulting argument. Thus, his refusing to even have a conversation. Engage me in deliberative dialogue once the dust settled. My Scorpio calmed down. And I attempted to engage him so in order to move past this thing that couples do. Argue. Hear each other out and decide where to go from there. Check. And with all of that, I never, as hurt and angry as I was over this misunderstanding, called him out his name and threw his shortcomings in his face to hurt his feelings, a.k.a. read him, which is very fucking difficult for a Scorpio. Check. Did he do anything for me? Well, let's see. Promised to help me with the cost of construction for my food trailer. Check. Vowed to go against the world with me, aligned his life with me, which is why the deliberative dialogue was necessary. Check. Listen to my problems and with, zombies of the world. Check. Purchased some inventory for my business when he came to Cali. Check. Promoted my business when I asked him to. Check. Sent money in the rare occasions that I needed it. Check. Insisted in the tents when he came out here to visit. Check. Blocked my heart chakra. Check. And taught me to never do any of this shit for a man again. Check. I basically laced his shoes to run after women he's now somewhat qualified for. She gets to enjoy all the fruits of my labor. Never fucking again, I tell you. Never. Thank him for me. P.S. I took all my hard work website down with me when I left. I knock shit over when I leave. Yep. The end. So,
and that's your story?
That's my story.
And that's what you're sticking to, right?
That's what I'm sticking to.
Okay. Yeah. And welcome to BGP. Y'all know what time it is. It's time to put on your big girl panties. Because today we have a special guest that called on us to talk about her previous relationship so that we can have a teaching moment for all women, young and old. Welcome, Amina.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And how was your holiday?
It was a work day.
Okay. Me too. So, Amina, tell us give us a little background on yourself.
So, I'm from California, born and raised. I don't even know where to start. But fast forward, I am 46 with one minor child. The rest of my children are grown, all boys. We have a vegan business that we've started. And I met this man because of our commonality in the vegan industry.
Okay, so how did you meet him?
So Facebook. And what I did really appreciate about this brother is that he never tried to talk to me. So from 2014, he didn't do the DM thing. He didn't do any of that. But he was very supportive when I was going through some legal issues, which subsequently landed me in prison for a minute. And upon my return, he immediately reached out and was like, "Sis, do you need anything? Give me your Cash App. I got you." But within all of that, he never, ever tried to talk to me. He never tried to hit on me. It was just very respectful and very brotherly, sisterly. So these were all taken into account when we did start communicating more some years later, or recently. And it just bubbled into, I'm going to come to California and visit, after like 3 months of getting to know each other better, more intimately.
Okay. You need to speak up for us.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so You met him on the internet. Mm-hmm. Where does he live?
He's in New York.
New York.
Mm-hmm.
And how long did it take before you guys saw each other in public?
So from 2014 to 2020, just when he came out here, 2021. But as far as when we developed a friendship and started kinship and relationship,
I want to talk about friendship. I want to say, how long did it
after
take him?
After he said I like you, and we did the boy girl I like you too thing. 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
And this relationship started in what year?
This was just recent. This was all crash and burn very quick.
2021.
Yeah, all of this happened like very, very quickly. It didn't last very long.
Tell us about him.
What do you mean?
Who is he? You don't have to give us his name. How old is he? What is his profession? What is his background?
He's 48. He's a self-made vegan chef. So he didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. He did graduate from culinary art school. He did do that.
How many children does he have?
4.
4 children. Mm-hmm. Was he ever married?
No.
Mm-mm. Were you ever married?
Mm-hmm. I've been married
Twice. Mm-hmm. So, what made you have a long distance relationship?
It just turned into, from being a friend to us just having a lot of things in common and wanting to examine that further.
Okay, so in your post, you said that you went outside of your preference.
Yeah, so he's not my type.
Hold on, ma'am. Hold on. Let me do this. So you said you went outside of your preference, and I believe that a lot of women should go outside of their preference. Sometimes we might find what you found, a surprise, but we might find our soulmate. We might find the person that we want to be with.
It could happen
when we, are not so shallow and we say, okay, he's not this, he's not that, but let me try him out because the other ones haven't been working out for me. Right. So let me try this.
My preference.
So when you said outside of your preference, what was the determining factor that you used to engage with a man outside of your preference?
So we started off, like I was saying, just as friends. And so even though I could look at him and tell he wasn't really my type, the more that, like when we fasted for 70 days before he came out here. So we did a mutual fast, right? We read a book by Siddiqui Bukhari, and we read another book on relationships, right? So we studied together. So eventually how he looked didn't affect me anymore. I didn't trip off of that. I just like the fact that he was willing to study and engage in things other than YouTube videos and bullshit that other people like to engage in. So I just settled on the cultural alignment and the same the commonalities. Basically, I settled on those. So he grew on me, as they say.
Okay, and you decided to give her brother a chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies, can we do long distance relationships?
I haven't. I can't do it personally. I prefer somebody to be within 30 to 45 minutes driving range. Oh, that's just me.
That's very particular.
Yeah, that's just me. I can't. But, I mean, for some people, it works. For me, no. I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't think it would work for me either. I've tried it. Just even getting to know that person. I have to see something or touch something or look at something to really connect. So, yeah. Mm-mm.
Well, ultimately, the
Let me answer.
The goal was...
Let me answer.
Oh.
So, for me, I cannot do long-distance relationships. My nerves are bad. And like Neisha said, for me, an hour to 2 hours is long distance.
Yes.
If I can't see you 3 or 4 days out the week, that's long distance. Mm-hmm. So I proceed with caution. You can't help who you like, but that doesn't really work for me. And for me, like Adrianne said, I need to reach out and touch you. Mm-hmm. I need to be in your surroundings. I need to know who your friends are and why you have enemies. So we've talked about internet relationships before and the dangers that happen. And then there are some success stories. So him being long distance for me would be a red flag. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to see how you get down because, like I say, on the internet, you can be whoever you want to be.
Absolutely.
You can be the apple of my eye. And we as women, we tend to talk so much in the beginning that if you get with a man that is going to eventually manipulate you, waste your time, you're going to give him the formula. You're going to tell him, this man did this, I did that, I'm this type of woman, blah, blah, blah. And if he means you no good, he will pick up on those things and he will not be those things. Show up as his representative, and then later down the line, bam, he turns into who he really is.
Exactly.
So,
can I jump in?
You sure can.
So yeah, the before the blowout, the idea was to see each other every 3 months, and then he was gonna move out here. I wasn't going to New York. I wasn't gonna go live in New York. There's a probation issue, so the just being able to just jump up and go wasn't gonna happen. So I was gonna visit in January. It was gonna be every season that we were supposed to see each other. But yeah, the text message, so it never happened.
So the probation issue, he's on probation?
Yeah, I've been on parole. So I don't judge people that have been to prison.
Okay. And how long is he going to be on?
2 more years.
So it'll
possibly.
be possibly 2 more years before you guys can consummate this relationship in a healthy manner.
No, because if you can move on probation to another state, you just have to prove that you have work there and that you have family support or whatever. So, yeah, that's why even before the 2 years, the idea was to try to get it reduced to a year, or if not, just to get transferred.
So whatever he did that caused him to have a misdemeanor or a felony, you were willing to excuse that behavior?
Yeah, because I've been to prison. Yeah, so I don't judge people who have been in the system at all. Yeah.
So it wasn't a life-threatening situation?
No.
Okay, so you said you chose a meaningful name for him. Tell us about how one goes about choosing a name for a man.
Because he had it wasn't really a moniker. He's a 5%er. So he had a attribute that he went by. I knew his government name. But he had an attribute.
Nation of Gods and Earth? Okay.
Not actively. He studied it and was like, And so one of his middle name that he had online was that attribute. And so I was like, he didn't like his first name. He wanted me to call him the attribute. And I was like, no, I don't really like that. You have to give me something else to call you. So he was like, well, do you have any suggestions? I was like, let's check it out. I was like, you seem like you like justice, you like balance. So I started looking for names like that and found a Swahili name. Asked him, did he like it? He was like, yeah, that's cool. Took the name and ran with it. Conscious community stuff. I
got you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah. I'm here. I'm listening before.
So you said you were always accessible towards him via phone. Was there any money involved as you were? Were you sending him money?
No, I don't send men money.
Okay.
I don't take care of men.
Right. Okay.
So what I will do is what I know how to do. So I'm a natural resource that's highly intelligent. So when I see someone that has an idea, male or female, if I'm close to you and I believe in you, then I'm going to jump in.
So how did he earn your trust from being so far away?
What do you mean?
He lives in, where does he live? New York, right?
Yeah.
He's in New York, you're in California. How can you trust him? Because you guys established that you were going to have a monogamous relationship. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So how did he gain your trust from so far away?
Because I just trusted him. Yeah. Gave him a clean slate. Didn't bring my other past stuff in. I was just like, I'm going to take you on your word. I'm not going to go in with the idea that you might be A, B, or C based on my past. But I will look for patterns, you know. So, and I won't ignore patterns. So I did give him a clean slate. But yeah, my eye was open for anything.
How long was this a relationship?
3 months.
3 months.
3 months. Okay. So you guys had a private waist bead ceremony.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that means?
So waist beads have become very commercialized. Mm-hmm. So people wear them outside, just as decoration. But when you get into real traditional pre-colonial African tradition, they're not to be just displayed
outside, right?
So they're for your husband's eyes, right? Mm. So what we did was he purchased several for me, and with each waist bead that he put, we did vows on basically taking on the world together, business-wise, being united front as far as business goes, monogamy, always to keep communication lines open, never to go to bed angry, never to not communicate and work shit out. There were a few others, but those were the core things. And yeah.
And you did that within 3 months?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And is that like a marriage ceremony?
So we asked a brother that I respect and that he respects a lot, if we were to continue down this route and a year from now we're still standing, that would he perform marriage rites, actual marriage rites. So what we did was basically a commitment ceremony saying, okay, now we checked each other out. We have these things in common. We like each other. You've come out here to visit. We still vibe. Okay, let's be a couple, So we decided to be a couple. People fuck after knowing each other a day or 2 weeks. So to say, let's be a couple, that's not unusual at all. So we decided to be a couple instead of just two people just freaking each other. And then to move forward, a year from then, we were like, we will have a official ceremony.
So how long was it? Because this relationship only lasted 3 months. How long after did you become a couple?
So the commitment ceremony was saying that we're going to be together. That's what that was for.
That's not answering my question. How long? Okay, so it was 3 months. Month 1, month 2, you guys decided you were going to be up.
When he came out in September, we made the commitment.
How many months was that? 2 months?
I don't understand.
How long had you guys been talking before you made that commitment?
Everything, so maybe it was 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, he came out here on the 3rd month. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a part of your post where you said that you birthed his vision.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What was his vision?
He had an LLC in his head and a logo and an idea to expand from just doing what he was doing at that point. So he was already doing his thing as far as CMOS and, he had a customer base. But I was like, well, if you have an idea about an LLC, okay, well, let's make it an LLC instead of just talking about it. Since you're dealing with food, somebody gets sick, you don't want to personally be liable for it. If something goes wrong, LLC, basically protects your personal assets. I started teaching him about that. Bam. Told him to get his LLC. He applied. He didn't know how to apply. Told him how to apply. He applied. He got that done. Then it was, okay, what do you want to do with the food as far as elevating and making a better menu? So then we started talking about elevating the menu. Then the website went up. Then I started building the website with him. So it was a matter of, that was the walking through part. That's when it started being like, oh, okay. Yeah, I really have to hold your hand for this because you don't really know how to
do anything.
Go about all of this. Yeah. So it became one of those.
Go ahead, Adrianne.
I was just going to say, even though she's saying that, and I've done that very same thing. So, because it's like they're talking this good stuff. They're saying all these wonderful things, and you really begin to trust and believe them. And like you said, you birth their vision. They're telling you all about it. You get excited, just as excited as they are. And you're right. And you want to see it take off. And sometimes you do it and you don't get back what you've put in. Mm-hmm. Did you find that to be?
You can't get back what you put in because the person didn't have that same goal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They
That
don't
same
even,
drive. So it's not like, because when I was speaking to the sister about it initially, when we were building on it, we were talking about how it becomes like, you can't respect the man that you make. You know? So it's like, if you make him and then he turns around and tries to assert authority, it's like, put your chest back in.
Exactly.
Who are you talking to?
I did that.
Yeah. So then, you know, you kind of create a monster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I definitely get it.
Because within that, the nurturing and the support and the boosting the self-esteem and all of that, especially if it's somebody that typically nobody would see you with, you know what I mean? They wouldn't imagine. And then they, you know, start feeling themselves. So
I have a question.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I have a question. Because we've talked about this in one of like our very first few episodes. Who taught you how to date?
Nobody taught me how to date. I have parents that were married. They ended up divorced when I was 8. I saw my father get married again. I saw my mother get engaged, and then she just took herself deeper into Christianity. When I went into the NOY, the courtship process, there's no dating. You court.
Right.
So you don't have sex, and you examine each other and ask the tough questions, and it doesn't last long. Either y'all getting married or you're not. So that's what made... See, I took the culture from the NOY, even though I'm not religious and I'm not still involved as an MGT, because I did go through that program.
Okay.
So I didn't just like visit. I became an actual MGT. So I went in at 21. So from 21 to 2011. So from 21 to like 32, I was involved in their training as far as how to rear your children, how to take care of your husband. It wasn't how to date. They don't teach how to date. They teach you what to do in courtship, and then they teach you how to be a wife after that.
Do they teach you how to kind of look for red flags?
That's what the questions are for. And that's what the no contact is for, so that you're not you don't feel like, well, I'm going to overlook this because I've already compromised here. You know what I'm saying? So I might as well stay with this person or whatever. So yeah, it's that's where I got the male female dynamic training in.
And did you? One last question, then Mama, you can have, I promise. Do you have lady friends in your life that you talk to about?
Absolutely.
When you're dating, like, did they talk to you when you were like, this is the direction I'm going with Mr. We won't say his name. And did they give you advice or feedback?
No, because within the culture, there's nothing abnormal about not taking all of your past shit and throwing it on a man. We're supposed to be progressing past that. So you're gonna get bit, you're gonna kiss frogs, you're gonna have experiences like you shared. You know what I'm saying? Where you say you birthed the vision. So all of us go through it. Right? Now, as I said at the end of my post, my direction is different now. Now, you already have to be on your shit. And I don't have to come teach you anything or lead you or beg you or pull you or anything.
Or drag, like you mentioned.
Convince. None of that. I don't have to do any of that.
Right.
You know, so that's the lesson, you know. But also, in the NOY, the men are already supposed to be fit for having a wife anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to come in and pull and tug, because that's one of the questions when the men say, I have an interest in this sister. The brothers ask them, okay, well, what's up with you? You got the house? You got
you ready?
Is your stuff together? Are you ready for this? You know, because then the
right.
family comes after this. And are you prepared for that? You know, so what's missing is there's none of that in the community. There's no, you know, like kind of rites of passage.
So basically you went against your teachings.
I don't conform to any teachings. I don't conform to any teachings. The training that I got, I take to help me navigate through life. And there are some things that I throw the bones out and other things that I keep. Okay,
so tell me, you said you were married 2 times. What happened to your first marriage?
Musa. I'm not here to talk about my marriages, sis.
Okay.
I'm here to talk about this jackass.
Okay, but see, here's my thing.
Yeah.
What you do in your 20s, you don't do in your 30s, and you don't do in your 40s. Every 10 years is supposed to be a new beginning for you to evolve so that you don't go backwards.
Okay, so I answered.
So
I had a long
Let me
distance
finish.
relationship that I walked away from.
Let me finish.
And the second
Amina,
one was a
let
whole
me
bag.
finish. Let me finish. So that they can get what we're talking about. This is a teaching moment. It's not an attacking moment. And you asked to come here. So I'm just trying to not just help you. We're just using your story to help the audience and the women that are going to be listening. And when I say you go against your teacher, and Neisha said that did you talk to your girlfriends about this man that's long distance? Had you talked to somebody, then maybe we would have been like, hey sis, blah, 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 blah. We are here for a sisterhood. That's why you came, for a sisterhood. So I'm saying, if you had a first marriage and that didn't work, there is lessons to be learned from that first marriage.
Right.
Once you learn those lessons, when you go into your second marriage, your vetting process becomes different. What you are going to accept and not accept are going to be different because you matured. And then once you got to this dude, the red flags should have just been popping out left and right so that you wouldn't be here angry and that women...
I'm not angry, though.
Oh, you were angry at the time.
Right,
okay.
I was.
Okay.
I'm well past that. He's called me since then, and I didn't even think to return his call.
Okay, so let me finish. Like I said, this is a teaching moment.
Right.
We all have been in a situation where we have dated potential.
Absolutely.
We are here to tell you we do not date potential. Right. Point blank, period. Because here's the thing about a man. You never want to get a man at his lowest point. Because once he gets up, he's not going to respect you. He's going to look at you as the woman that saw him down.
Yep.
He's going to look at you as a woman that is not going to acquiesce to his leadership, to his authority, to his power, because he knows that you were the one that helped him with his power. So, he will take what you gave him, how you built that man, how you encouraged him, how you loved him, how you sacrificed for him, how you spent your time on helping him birth a vision. If you have to help him birth a vision, breathe life into that vision, that is not his vision. That is your vision that you pushed and used him as a vehicle. Question: what was this man doing with this business before you got there?
He had customers.
Okay, so he did not have the mindset to move forward with this business until you came up with all your ideals, right?
That's what the post was about. Yeah.
Okay, so here's my thing. I am a hairstylist. I decided to open up a business. If I want my business to be successful, I have to personally do that research. I have to go in and do. No, Neisha can give me some suggestions. Amina can give me some suggestions. Adrianne can give me some suggestions. I have to know within myself everything that I need to be successful. Weigh out the good and the bad. Weigh out the suggestions that I get, because this is my business. So we don't make men. Like you said, they got to come already built. They are coming to us to show us what our lives would be like if we got with them. So he didn't, for me, show me anything that would make me want to birth into him. Because first of all, what we do wrong is when we have boyfriends and girlfriends, when we have men and women, we become wife to these people. We take on all these wifely duties that we should not. If you continue to breathe life into a man and give him purpose and make sure he's driven, something that he should do in the first place, that's where we get to be these angry women. We're tired women.
Bitter.
we ain't gonna do it no more.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. I'm not gonna do it for nobody else, because we are being wise to men that have not shown themselves approved by marrying us and being the proper men that we want to call husbands. This man had too many red flags for me. Like I say, long distance. I'm pushing him. I'm egging him on. And I'm not saying that we are not supposed to help our brothers. But we do not get ourselves involved so emotionally that we become damaged in the end. So let's go to the part where you had the altercation.
Oh, yeah. So, I just received a text message after texting him one night, and the next morning I got a text message and said he was resting.
From a lady.
From a late night?
I mean, that's what I'd take it, yeah. No, the next morning I got the text message that said that, yeah, he was resting. So I'm like, okay, well, third person, the phone doesn't really do that. So, yeah, so I screenshotted it to him. He was like, oh, I sent a correction. I was like, I didn't get the correction. He was like, oh, well, that's not my problem. I was like, oh, okay. All right. That's how you doing it, huh? So gave it some time. Then I got a late text message that came through some hours later that was supposed to be the corrected one. I was like, okay. I said, well, it's been some hours. Call me when you're ready to talk. And my brother was like, no, tell him to call you when you have time. So I was like, yeah, call me when you have some time. Nothing. So when he didn't have the time, I blocked him on everything. Went to his website, took all that shit down. And was like, look, good life. You know?
So he never did reach out to you before you did all that. He just ignored you.
Yeah.
So before this he's resting text, you guys were communicating regularly, right?
Yeah.
Was there ever a point where you text him and you didn't get a rapid response? It was...
Yeah, there were times where I didn't get a rapid response. Just like there's times where he didn't get a rapid response from me.
So he didn't respond, or you get the he's resting. That was a deal breaker for you for this long distance relationship.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, well, what we agreed on, you obviously not doing it. So the alternative was, okay. Oh, because when he called me, that's what I said. Oh, so we're going to do an open relationship. Oh. I was like, that's what we're doing. I was like, okay, I'm with that. And he was like, what are you talking about? Then I said, read your screenshot. And he read the screenshot. And he was like, no, I corrected that. I was like, oh, I didn't get that. And that's when he sent his nonchalantness. And then the rest of the day went past. And then I just blocked him. I was like, okay, well.
So was that open relationship text meant for you or someone
else?
No,
when I told him.
He sent it to him.
He sent it to, yeah.
No, so when I called him and he didn't answer, and then I called him back and he answered. So after I received this text message, I see it and I'm looking at it and I'm like, so I screenshot it. I sent it to him. Then I called him, I didn't get answered. Then when he did answer, the first thing I said was, so we're in an open relationship now. I was like, that's what we're doing. Basically, because I'm willing to, if we're going to change the rules, then they're going to apply to both.
That's right.
Right? So now if the rules are going to be changed, so that means, okay, you're talking about projected coming out here in a year. So that means then I can do my thing until you come out here. Because we could have had a whole nother conversation.
Right.
We could have had a whole nother conversation. You know, because I don't subscribe to the idea that men can be monogamous, right? But if they give you their word, right?
You're supposed to
oh, I'm gonna take you on your word. If you're saying, if you give me your word, if you're from this culture, word is bond, bond is life. I should give my life before I let my word fail.
Exactly.
Right? If you subscribing to that, and I say, give me your word, and we give each other our words on that, I'm gonna take your word on it. But the minute your word, okay, well, that don't mean nothing. Okay, well, this is what we're doing now, you know? And that's the conversation you didn't want to have. Because I have options, too. Exactly. You know what I mean? So you have options. Okay, I have options, too. Right. So if you want to explore our options within this year, and then whatever happens from that happens, then... But that's not the conversation he wanted to have. So when he didn't want to have that conversation, then
that's when you blocked him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How many times did you guys see each other within this relationship? This 3
He came out here one time.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you said you have all boys, but let's say you have a daughter who's 23, and she was in the same situation you were. Would you encourage her to do long distance dating and kind of put that trust in as far as like helping with the company, building up the company? You would encourage her to do that with?
Absolutely, because I've seen that. Now look, my attitude about it is based upon my experience. I've seen women start with the man from nothing and they're still together. So I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but he was the kind of man that didn't necessarily have to be pulled either. So my advice to her would be, if he's already on his path, he's already driven. There's nothing wrong with, can you shoot this email for me? You know what I'm saying? Can you read this for me to make sure that I don't have no typos in it or whatever, and to send that when you, that kind of stuff. Not, baby, I need you to get up in the morning and take some pictures so I can, that pushing and pulling, so yeah. But as far as the long distance thing, I don't know why people get so stuck on that, because people are living in the same city with a man that has another woman's stuff on his dick that's at night.
No, you're right.
And they're living right with each other in the same fucking city.
Right.
So I don't trip off of because there are women and men that if you watch Snapped, these people they're with each other all the time, and this man is supposed to be at work and he's sleeping with somebody else and he's coming back and sleeping with this woman. So we see instances of where people can wake up and you can touch and you can rub on your mate every day, but he's still a dog.
Good point.
You know what I mean? And he's still not trustworthy. Or you got women that still sneak in their man's phones, right? And they're in the same city. So it's like, or he gives her the access to his phone and he has a whole nother phone that he's hoeing on.
Sure.
So the distance, it doesn't, because you could be right under somebody that's lying to you.
I get you on that. And I agree that, you can be within the same city and, people cheat. I get that part. I guess, and it's not about the long distance that would concern me, but like, for me, like I have a daughter, okay? When she's allowed to date when she's 30, she knows that she is not to build him up from the beginning. He has to have his purpose. He has to be driven. He has to have a plan as to the direction he wants to go.
And be on it.
It's not her job to say, let me help you with your direction, or where are you going with this? Here's what I think you should do. And it's not her job.
I agree.
That's his.
Yeah.
Right? As far as long distance, like I said, for me, I can't do it. I can't. But for some people, it works, right? So I'm not downing you on that. I'm just, for me, I guess it's just more of, I would never encourage, and I try to stick with like the younger generation because we're supposed to be the older ones that teach them how to move differently, right? I would never, ever, 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 ever encourage them to say, what are you doing? What have you done so far? And you still in the same position for the past, I don't know, 5-10 years.
Just talking about
let me help you. Let me do all this work for you so you can get to that next step. I would never encourage them to do that because, like Miss Mona said, and how other people have said, because I was privy to a conversation this week, which I shared with them, a lot of men feel like if you are the struggle woman, right? You are that woman that is helping him in his struggle get to that next stage. When he gets to that next stage, he's going to go for that woman that he really wants. And she's going to get everything that you poured into him. Yeah.
Yes.
Everything. And that's going to leave struggle woman, us, that's going to leave us pissed, single,
bitter,
upset,
angry,
bitter.
If you choose to be.
Because we're sitting there like, I thought I did everything right. I did this. I supported.
But how long do you stay bitter and upset? Because
until you decide to heal.
Yeah.
And learn.
Yeah.
And learn from the lessons.
Yeah. So spirituality does a lot for me in terms of that. So I let that shit go at the ocean. You know, 3 weeks in, it was like, okay, that was very short term You know what I mean? There's no children involved.
Okay.
I didn't lose anything. So, yeah, except
Time.
yeah, you know, and you can't get that back.
You can't.
You know, and again, I know now there's a blueprint. You know, and I've ran into somebody that fits that blueprint, thankfully, and wouldn't have been available had it been for this. So yeah, I'm like, you just have to let stuff go. Like, I'm too old to be moving with all of that baggage. It's like, it's something that happened. Okay, boom, learn from it, move from it, and just keep it pushing. So.
And I just think some of us are nurturers by nature. Not that it's and we don't have the healthy boundaries in place.
Correct.
So for me, I wanted to be the good wife, the good girlfriend. So when he showed me just a little bit of an idea of what he wanted to do, I'm like, okay,
excited, like,
okay, I'm gonna help you. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Right.
And then just exactly,
Biggest
I'm
fan.
rah-rahing for him and writing it down and going getting the business license and checking out the trucks. Hey, go over here and do this. Making the flyers, posting it up, all these things. And he's just chilling back.
Allowing you to do it.
Yeah, allowing me to do it. And then the minute I wanted to take on my own thing, he let the thing just go zoop. Because then it showed me. I was the one that wanted this. You didn't. You know what I'm saying?
I think we take on projects as babies.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like the nurturing part. It's like we everything that we touch is our baby. Yeah. So when we give it an idea, that's why that term birth came up, because it is like a baby, you know, and we don't just, like, from day one, you don't just, like, you don't see the baby and then decide not to feed it and not to nurture it and not to take care of it and not to change it and swallow it. As soon as you get that baby, it's yours, and you want to go through every step, you know? And so now it's like, no, you have to come. You can't be a toddler.
You gotta come
as a whole. I don't need your
build
baby.
the bear.
Correct. No. And so the term, can I say it? The term. So when we were talking, I was like, I had brought up a term that I use, batteries not included.
Oh.
And assembly required men. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what it's so many. It's so many. You know what I mean? It's so many out there. So it's just a matter of knowing, you know. So what I was telling is interesting that you were asking me about the advice as far as a daughter, because I met a young lady in the park the other night, and she is the daughter of a gentleman that I've become really good friends with lately in my networking circle. So I was asking her, because she's 17, so I was asking her about dating and all of that stuff. So we were talking about entrepreneurship and the type of men and all of that. And I did tell her, as far as men giving visions, do not pick up visions and run with visions. You know what I mean? To have a man that's already established, is already on his purpose. So we did have that talk, you know. And so moving forward, that's the thing, the man, not the boy, the man, not the little boy that's looking at the man that he wants to be, you know, but that's actually on his purpose. Like her dad is a perfect example. It's like, you have a perfect example right here. So use him as a model, you know, so yeah, definitely won't be from ground zero.
From the ground floor.
Zero. Because like I said, in the examples that I've seen from people coming from ground zero up, it wasn't that she was making him do anything. You know what I mean? He had ideas and he was just like on it, you know? Yeah.
So, I'm a natural giver. And when you are a woman that is a natural giver, oftentimes you get burnt a lot. You know, oftentimes people take your kindness for weakness. I would suggest that you continue to be who you are. Don't let anybody change you, but don't be so quick to give to people that are going to take from you. It's a goddamn shame that we as black women, and I'm going to say this before I say this, there's three sides to a story. Her truth, his truth, and the truth. But it's a goddamn shame that we as women have to be leery of the men that invite us into their lives. We They say there are no good women out here, but there are a lot of good women out here that will do exactly what she did, because we are Black women. We are supposed to love our Black men, and we never think in the back of our minds that here come this nigga over here to ruin my life.
Right.
Here comes this Black man over here. That don't mean me no good. I'm over here minding my goddamn business, and here he come with his bullshit. We gotta stop hurting each other. We got to stop manipulating each other. Right. There was a red flag to this situation. First red flag for me was you didn't vet him long enough. There was a vetting process. You needed to be in his presence more than one time. You need to see his get down. You needed to see him when he got angry. You needed to see him interact with friends and family. You needed to see him conduct his business. He was sitting around there. He wasn't doing shit. And he allowed you to help him. Well, really not help him, to really just run his business for free. Yeah. And it's a goddamn shame that we got male men, and I'm not talking about the USPS, that do this shit, and then they wonder why we be like, fuck that nigga. Why we are not kind to you all. That we come with some reservations, where we come when we got to get used 50 feet. Because so many of you do this shit that you do. You take a good woman and you see that she's really actually here for you, and you manipulate her and you cheat on her and you deceive her. And I don't give a damn if y'all don't like this conversation right now, because it has to be said. We said in episode 1, stop using each other. We are supposed to lift each other up. We are supposed to build each other up. We are supposed to make sure that each one of us, both male and female, leave each other better than we were before we met each other. Not angry, not bitter, not looking at the next dude like, wonder what he on. Wonder what tricks he got. Wonder what game he gonna pull. What lie he gonna tell? What representative he gonna bring in here? Is he a homosexual? Is he out here playing on women? You didn't know none of that, sis. And we need to vet these men. We need to talk to these men for about 6 months to a year before we give our mind, our bodies, and our souls to them. Before we implement all the things that they say they want to do for themselves, because he's a male man. If he ain't did it before, you got with him, because he's going to take your ideals, take it to Adrianne. She's going to say, oh, this is such a great man. Oh, my God, he had this vision. He came to me
self-prepared with this vision.
Yeah, because he's not going to go back and say, oh, Neisha taught me this. He's not going to say who did it. And we over here like, well, I'll be goddamn. She over here giving him all the prices. Excuse me, sister, you date me.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for sending them over here. I appreciate it.
But you know what? At the end of the day, if you regret or you're angry about the good vibes and the good deeds that you did, you're not going to get it back. I'm already getting back what I did for him.
Oh, I understand that part, but I'm saying it is some regret, sister. It is some regret. It is some anger. It is some stuff that you had to get past. You had to. I'm saying all of us are human beings.
Right.
There's some stuff that you're going to go through. Hold on. Right. So we don't want to go through unnecessary bullshit. Right. We got our own individual bullshit that we're supposed to be working out, and we allow a man to step into our lives, and here we come with that bullshit. Oh, you damn right I'm mad as hell.
What's the
you shit, fuck that.
Yeah. But I say, as I'm sitting here today, there is no anger about that situation.
And I understand that.
Absolutely none. So I do everything that I've experienced throughout my life, I take it as it was already written, and I was already supposed to go through it. So everything, including me going away, everything that I've been through, because it only fortifies me. So this right here, now again, I have a blueprint, right? So I've always been a nurturer, and I've always been a giver, like you were saying before. That's always been me. And I'm going to continue to do that, like you said. But it's not going to be in a situation like that. You know what I mean? With someone who isn't already on their shit.
Right.
Period, point blank. Right. So my nurturing and my guidance and all of that is for my sons. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that comes into my light. But not a man who comes into my light just to drain and just to plug in and just to leave, you know. But as far as the vetting, sis, that's what the courtship was for. But we didn't get to continue to know each other. You know what I'm saying? So the commitment ceremony was saying that we're in this courtship. And if we're still standing in a year, we're going to get married. But we never got past all of that. I
think that's why it's important, too, that we have us a good, strong sisterhood of women that we can trust that's going to pull our coattail. And let us know when we all in la-la land, because we loving this nigga. And he got these, we're not seeing it. We're looking through a foggy lens that they're going to pull us to the side and say, hey, you better check this dude out a little bit more. You need to vet him a little bit more. I've learned lessons too. I've been exactly where you've been. I mean, your story when you were doing your checklist, that was just resonated to me. So I totally get it. But the person I am today, I'm still healing, and there's still some anger there, and it makes me choose people differently. And I think that's where it comes in, where you have your group of homegirls, even if it's one or two that you can trust, that's going to give you a real, keep it 100
unbiased
with you, and tell you the real.
Slow down.
Yeah, because sometimes we can't see it for ourselves. It's like right there. The red flag is like slapping us in the face, but we don't see it, you know. So I think it's important that we surround ourselves with good, trusting people.
Right.
Yeah. What you got, Neisha?
I think that one of the mistakes that Black women make, and I hate to generalize all Black women, but a large number of us that we've made and some continue to make, is we don't have healthy boundaries.
That's it.
We don't have healthy established boundaries for the people that come into our life, whether it's men or women, right? There's nothing wrong with being resourceful. I know you mentioned that earlier, that you're resourceful, you have resources, and I believe it. Based on what you said in that post, I believe it. Based on the things that you were doing for that man, I believe it. But we also have to understand and get to a point where we have to pay attention to how they move. Because I'm willing to bet, and I can be wrong, he told you a little bit about his vision. A little bit. Maybe a little bit that he thought that you probably wanted to hear. And in your mind, because you're resourceful, you're like, oh, I can do this for you. Let me do it. I'll do it, right? And he's like, okay, go ahead. You got it. Whereas somebody that's really has pure intentions for you, for a relationship, they're not going to allow you to do all of that.
Yeah. I think we've established that. I think we've probably said that over and over.
Yeah.
So with the ready-made man versus the one you have to pull. So I'm clear on that at this point.
No. I'm not saying that to teach you.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
just
talking
saying to a wider audience than just you.
Yeah, I'm saying that
we're just
because
using your story.
For the babies.
Yeah, we know
you
got
it.
We know you got it.
But nobody else. Yeah.
But it's a lot of women with that story. It's a lot, both old and young, that do that, and they come with that mindset that they believe that they are supposed to do all that work.
Helpmate.
Yes, and to someone that's not even their husband.
Helpmate.
Here's the thing. We have something called the lonely. And loneliness is a hell of a drug.
It sure is.
If we are single women and we live alone, periodically we get lonely. And there's a difference between being lonely and needing male companionship. See, when you lonely, you call Neisha and Adrianne and Amina and you holler at them, or you pull up on them, or you go to the mall, or you treat yourself to a massage or a mani-pedi, or you go get your hair done, or you go shopping, or you go to a movie, or treat yourself to a nice little dinner. And we have to stop confusing lonely and being lonely with I need a man. You're going to have to say, I'm a grown-ass woman. I need some male companionship. But when you search for that male companionship, it might not necessarily be a relationship. We get lonely and we seek male companionship, and then we get to thinking, oh, this could be my dude. No, it's not. You just might need to see if you still got it. You might just need to see if somebody think you're sexy or you're cute, and take that for what it is. And we need to stop. I think both of you guys said we get to fantasizing and getting in la-la
Before you
land
even
and
get to
thinking
that first
of possibilities and shit. Yeah. And now we toe up.
Yeah, and mad.
Yeah. So be careful about that disease called lonely, because if a man is really out to get you, he can see, smell the loneliness on you, and he gonna manipulate it, and he gonna use the right words or the right touch to get you in a position for his own selfishness. Final words, ladies. Oh, have you spoken to this man after?
No, I didn't call him back.
He's never contacted you?
No, he contacted me. That's what I said. I didn't call him back. So about a week or so ago, I woke up and I saw 2 missed calls from him, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's cute."
So you're done.
Oh girl, I was done when I blocked him.
And this was such a beautiful relationship after 3 months that now you don't want to have nothing to do with him.
I mean,
well, you
if you're ignoring me, then I mean, what do we, you know, what why would I open myself up to even having a conversation when I was trying to be civil and have a conversation with you before? So if you didn't want to do it then I don't even, because then it was a matter of what are we going to talk about in terms of where we're moving forward, if we're going to have an open relationship or what. You know, if we changing the ground or we changing the terms, there's nothing to talk about 3 months later, 3 weeks later. There's nothing to talk about 3 weeks later when I gave you that whole day to have a conversation with me.
Because some people think that especially when they're cowards, that I'm just gonna give her a little time.
Yes.
Right. This all gonna blow
She'll
over.
get over it. She'll be all right when I
I'm gonna call her. She still love me. She know she
gonna
want
be so
this,
happy
and
to
she
hear
gonna be
from
like,
me.
"Hey boo," and she gonna hear that voice and all that bass, and she gonna forget. Brother, some of us don't forget.
Nah.
No.
That's exactly what it was. I was supposed to be so grateful. I was supposed to be so grateful that he called that I was going to forget the initial conversation that I was trying to have. And so I was like, yeah, that's cap. I didn't even, girl, to my butterflies, nothing. I felt nothing. I saw it and was like, oh, yeah, that's cute. You know.
Final thoughts, ladies.
Let her go first since she's the guest. What's your final thought?
No. No assembly required. Batteries not included. Just the man has to be on his purpose already. All you are is, sis, can you do this? Can you send this email for me? If you can't, that's fine. Oh, yeah, you can. Okay, thank you. Not, baby, can you get up in the morning and do it? Blase, blase, blase. You should not have to drag a man. You shouldn't have to drag a man to his purpose, period, point blank. If that's his purpose, he's already there. Yep. You don't have to drag him. If you have to drag him, that's a problem.
Oh, okay. And my final thoughts are, you cannot fix, heal, correct a man, period. Don't go into it thinking you're going to change.
Yeah.
He is what he is. And like, I think it's Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are the first time, believe them. And some of the stuff that they can put over DMs and emails and all these, and even over the phone, sounds sweet and syrupy. And at the end of the day, they some straight assholes. So we have to be very careful of the game that's out there. And just learn how to bob and weave.
Like a fox in
right.
Oh, damn.
For me, I would say, like I said, establish healthy boundaries. Vet. Keep vetting.
Yes.
Because in the beginning, as some people like to call it, the honeymoon phase, everybody is perfect. There's a lens on both sides. Sometimes you don't see them flags like you should. Have a sister circle. Women that mean you well, not the ones that's jealous of you, not the ones that's going to talk about you, not the ones that want to see you fail, but the ones that want to see you win, so that you can kind of, talk about it and run things by them and get their unbiased opinion on, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this guy? This is what is being said, and I'm just curious, what do you think about it? Because sometimes in our mind, we see one thing, but to the outside eye, they may pick up on stuff you don't. Get you some male friends as well. Male friends that are not trying to sleep with you, but really have your best interests at heart, because they also can point out things that you may miss as a woman, right? You may, to you believe everything this person is saying, and they can point out and be like, let me tell you why you're lying. Because I used to do it. Let me tell you why he's full of shit. Because I used to run that same line. Let me tell you why you need to be careful. Because if not, you can end up like this. Get you some good core friends in your circle that can hold you accountable, and you can hold yourself accountable. And if you fall off, they got you. Like, hold on, I got you, but go this way. Don't go that way. Go this way. Right? Vet. Ask questions. Take your time. There is no rush. And if you are dating, because I do think you should date before you court. I believe that when you're courting, you're going for marriage. And before you get to that point, you need to date to see if you guys are even compatible before you even get to the courting stage. That's my opinion. That's just my thought. And that's my final thought.
And don't settle. I'm sorry, I left that. Don't settle. Don't ever settle.
There is potential red flags in any relationship that we get into. We never know the outcome of relationships when we're in them. We need to stop fantasizing as women about what the possibilities can be. We need to use more logic than we use emotions and see everything for what it is. I appreciate you, Amina, for coming out today, for sharing your story. There are so many women that are out here building Negroes, building bosses to get discarded in the end. We're going to keep on being women. We're going to keep on being soft and feminine and nurturing, because one day somebody is going to appreciate that. For all the sisters, red flags. Long distance relationships, proceed with caution. Any relationship, proceed with caution. Any man that really wants you, that admires you, that needs to have you in his life, he's going to sell you. He don't necessarily want you to sell him anything. He's not going to allow you to see his weaknesses. We know men be sick, they be broke, they be angry, they be feeling oppressed and depressed, and they will not let us see that, because that's how they exude their manhood. We are not nurturers to men per se like we are to sons. And sometimes when we have sons, we try to use that same approach on these grown-ass male men. Sweetie, do you have something that you want to promote before we leave?
Thank you. So I have a Goddess of Vegan skill set initiative that I started for our foster care youth that are aging out of the foster care system. A lot of times their social workers haven't prepared them for their transition. So I started this initiative in order to teach them on my food trailer once it's finally built, which is what the GoFundMe is for. We purchased a food trailer, but the kitchen needs to be built inside of it. So what I plan to do with these young men and women that are aging out of the system, especially in marginalized community, those of us who are marginalized, who typically have a hard time navigating the world when we get out, especially because of how we look sometimes. So I want to teach them, my goal is to teach them how to cook so that they can get jobs, right, and use me as a reference, but not just the job part. I want them to learn how to establish an LLC. Everything I did for Dude, I want to teach these children, right?
See, that's worth it.
Right, right. And then on top of all of that, help them get housing, right? So that they don't end up, on the streets, because a lot of times when they get out of foster care, they end up as prostitutes and in prison and with all these other issues. So I just want to help like that.
Tell us about your vegan restaurant.
So I have a tent right now in Lamert Park, right, on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 until, right, we're out there, me and my sons. And our vegan food, our products are a healthy alternative to the Beyond Meat and Impossible Burgers and the soy and the tofu and all of that, which come with a host of health problems that people, y'all already know.
I'm already knowing, yes.
Okay, so what a lot of people like about me is that I don't use these products in our foods. And so we break down cabbage, cauliflower, right? and Brussels sprouts, and we break them down to make them a meaty consistency. So I don't just take cauliflower and flour it and throw it in a pan and give it to y'all. It's actually, you open it, it looks like meat. But you're not going to gain weight. It's gluten-free, right? Soy-free, so you're not getting the estrogen buildup, right? And yeah, it's just clean food. I do a lot of quinoa. We have Sabiite friendly foods or whatever for the Nazi vegans, the hardcore vegans. But yeah, it's just healthy transitional foods. Yeah. So if you have a craving and you might fall off, come to me because I can give you something that's going to satisfy you, but you don't have to eat a dead bird. All right. Cool.
And this concludes the broadcast for today. We're going to let Ms. Neisha Williams give us a very interesting title for this broadcast. I do have a meme that I've already created. So please share this video, like this video, subscribe to our channel. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. If you have any other kind of suggestions, ladies, gentlemen, that you would like us to talk about, we want all the smoke. We don't have a problem with talking.
Bring it.
Until the next episode, y'all know what to do. Keep them panties clean. BGP.
We out.
And we out.
Bye.